Sassy Sisters as Say So. And the topic today is then versus now. Then versus now. Now I'm going by, then is the 50s and the 60s, when we were little.
I was really little.
You were barely here in the 60s. But versus now. So the first one is technology and communication.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Changed a lot.
Okay. This is what I remember growing up. We were on a party line with telephones.
Yes.
Which was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as little kids,
You have
You
to
could pick
listen
up
to
the
everybody's
phone and hear
conversation.
somebody's
and
conversation.
then you would hear Mrs. Green says, "Is somebody else on this line?" And you didn't say, and you click because you can hear somebody
Yes.
picks it up.
Yes.
Right.
Of course, nowadays we were just talking about this a while ago that everything is listening to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Your phone is listening
Your
to you.
phone, probably some people's TVs now. They've got smart TVs
Oh,
that
even
are Alexa.
our little speakers, they're all listening to us.
The door. They're finding out about the door ring things.
Yeah, the doorbells,
Yeah.
the cameras.
Yeah. Also the baby monitors.
Well, isn't the
It's
doorbell
all
thing motion censored? Isn't it motion censored?
Doorbells?
The Ring doorbell?
The doorbells, yeah, because
Well, it depends on how you have it.
Yeah, for instance, ours is the Nest. Okay, so if somebody don't have to be somebody. How depends on how you have it all set up.
Yeah,
if somebody
right.
does come to your yard, it'll notify me.
Right.
That's how we have it set.
Right.
And if somebody rings your doorbell, then you obviously they're either
Right.
hear it or whatever. And the
Right,
reason why we
right.
got our doorbell was because when Doreen was little,
Right.
I would be down in my office, and I could turn the doorbell off, so it wouldn't ring, but it would
Right.
get, it would let me know somebody's there.
Okay.
When he was sleeping
Right.
or whatever.
Oh,
So,
okay, cool.
Those things are great.
It just depends on what you have, what it will do.
Right. But
they're
technology has
finding
definitely
out
changed.
that there is so much included in the airwaves that people can.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
To me, it is, but
Big Brother is always watching.
They are now.
well, anybody is. Big brother,
But
little brother, anybody.
There's good and bad with everything, though. The good thing about people having cameras
I love
is
the cameras.
if something happens, if you live in a neighborhood
Yeah.
and something's going on,
Yes, somebody's
people's
gonna
cameras
pick
are
it up.
catching it.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it helps the police.
Yes, and the other thing is the communication. Like you said, there used to be party lines. You also used to have to pay for,
Long distance.
and I think it was even anytime you used the phone in North Carolina, because I remember Pat and Dad had the walkie-talkies,
Right.
so
They didn't
Mom
have to
and
pay.
Adeline could talk back and
Right.
forth.
So every time you use the phone, you have
Military.
Now, we lived several houses apart, but we were on the same road.
Yeah.
We were here and
Yeah.
they were there.
Yeah.
So they had the walkie-talkies
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
would use.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And then of course, over time, competition allows them to let you have everything for one price and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, you had to rent your phone. You couldn't
Yeah.
buy your phone
Right.
then. I remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was even up to, what, the 80s, early 80s maybe? They stopped. You could buy your phones.
No, I think you could buy your. I don't know
I
how
don't
it went.
know.
They supplied you with the phone.
I don't know.
But you paid
Back in
for
the
it.
day.
And it's kind of like, that's kind of
Yeah.
sort of the same thing they do nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on a plan,
Yeah.
They give you a phone. They don't give you
Yeah.
a phone.
Yeah.
But you're paying for it.
Yeah. So, and then they went to international. Then they went to long distance, being free over a certain time.
Right,
Yeah.
evenings.
Or cheaper
Yeah.
or whatever.
Cheaper between
All that's
this and
changed.
this hour.
All that's changed.
Yeah.
And
So I do like the idea of cell phones though, because if you don't come home, if you don't, nobody hears from you,
Yeah, there's a lot of good things.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of good things. There's also not so good things.
True, but
But you take the bad with the good.
Yeah.
so
right,
Yeah.
right.
What outweighs?
So before I had cell phone, everybody else had a cell phone, but before I had a cell phone, I broke down in the summer heat with the kids, and somebody stopped and said they could call, whoever
Right.
I needed to call, and so that makes you think, oh wow, we need a cell phone. We need some way to
Yeah.
handle that kind of thing. And what really did it was I left the house and just tooled around, went to Walmart, all that kind of stuff, come back. Nobody knew where I was, and it was like
Oh, the family.
the family did not know where I was.
Right.
And so they said, you need a cell phone, and I'm thinking, because I wasn't hooked to the cell phone yet, so I didn't, So after a while, they got me a cell phone, but that's so they could get in touch with me.
Right.
But they are a good thing, though, to have.
Well,
And they also supply them for people,
they can't afford
the
it.
battered women's
Yeah.
shelter and stuff like that. They supply
Right.
a phone
And
for
that's a good
emergencies. Yeah, so, yeah. So there's
Well,
a lot.
that's because if you're in that situation, your person you're trying to get away from
Yeah.
can track you.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you need a phone
Yeah,
that's
but
not connected
That's
to them.
true, but it's mainly for emergency situations.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, next topic is children.
The difference between how we grew up and how children are growing up now.
Back in the day, the children played outside, learned
Yep.
to earn,
Yep.
used their imagination,
Yep.
which Dorian uses his imagination.
All the time.
Yeah. Now it's even dangerous to go outside.
It's terrible. Terrible.
And they're given everything.
Yeah.
And toys are electronic.
Yes. They don't play with
There's no
toys.
pretend much,
Right.
unless the parents are smart.
Yes.
And there's no reason to use their imagination.
There's a
There's
definite
a big
difference.
difference.
Because when we were kids, we were outside all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we had TV.
That's
It was
because
black
there was
and white.
nothing to do
But-
in the house.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing a board game.
Well, yeah.
Like
I
on a
don't
rainy day.
remember the
On a rainy
TV
day.
being on all day long, though.
We weren't inside. We were outside.
Right.
And one TV was it.
One TV.
Yeah.
Now it's like a TV
I
in
still
every room.
have that.
Yeah.
One TV.
Yeah, well, we have a TV in almost every room.
Yeah. And
Well, not the bedrooms. All the bedrooms, 3 of the bedrooms have TVs.
yeah.
The living room now has it because of life.
Yeah.
Basement, obviously, because that's where Taylor lives.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have that many TVs.
Yeah. So, but also the environment has changed. So I remember we could go and just, hey, I'm going down to so-and-so's.
Right.
Okay. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember riding bikes on the highway on
Where?
17. We were,
Oh, you were at Dan's?
We were at Dan and
Okay.
Mom's house, and
Okay.
my friends came to the house on their bikes and said, "Let's go for a ride." So we went for a
And it
ride.
was no big
we
deal.
ended up on 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so you
Julie
can't do
and
that
I-
now.
No.
Well, you
would.
shouldn't do that now.
We
No,
would
the
ride our
environment's
bikes.
different.
She'd come to our house. Of course, we were behind the store. there.
Right.
And we would go all the way to Bristersburg, which is like 5 miles
That's a
away.
long ways.
Oh, yeah,
On
we
that-
biked
on-
all the way to Bristersburg.
But then there was many cars. Now
Right.
it's like that is a thoroughfare from 29.
I know.
Yeah, 28
I mean, there were some cars, but
to 17.
today you have to more worry about being picked up by
Yes,
somebody.
the
Yeah.
environment
do
is
the
so
traffic.
different.
I
We
guess.
didn't worry about it.
we didn't think about it.
We just
I mean,
started out and
Is
we'd
it-
go all the way to the Bristersburg store, take a break, because it was usually hot,
And back,
and then we would bike back.
and back in the day, you automatically knew you were in the house when it started getting dark.
Right.
right, we didn't have to be told to come in.
But we didn't have lights on our bikes,
That's true.
And
so
we
we
could
weren't on
do-
the road after
yeah,
dark.
and we could do whatever we wanted. We wanted to walk to the store. Mom would even send me to the store. You know the old thing about sending a kid to the store to buy a pack of cigarettes or whatever, because you know the kid is not old enough. But if they had a note from their parent, they could do it.
It's funny because when we grew up
It's
in
so
Elk Run,
strange.
Yeah, but the Embreys knew us.
No, I'm talking North Carolina. I was little.
Oh.
oh, good gravy.
Where was the store in North Carolina?
Down the road.
Oh my gosh,
I don't
were you?
remember that.
Little.
I remember
I think I
walking
turned
on the railroad
8
tracks
or
though.
less. Yeah,
Mom
me,
sent you
me and
some
her.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
But we lived at Elk Run, lived right behind the store. It kind of reminds you of the Waltons
Right,
sort of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'd go over to the store and get some candy. Penny
Yeah.
candy in the
Yeah.
day
Oh, yes.
or a soda or whatever.
Well, we would go walking on the road and collect all the bottles.
Yes.
And then we take them to
I
the
love
store
that.
and get
Yeah.
penny candy.
Right.
Yes.
Because they were returnable. And
Yeah,
you
you
get
got so
5
much a
cents
piece.
or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
or 2 cents.
Yeah.
And then they had the thing of the inside of the cap,
Had something on
and
it.
it was like a card or whatever, and you collected that in one side. I don't remember,
Right.
but I remember doing that because
Right.
they had a Coke machine,
Right.
and we lived right next door to the store.
Right.
So I would go in and
Right. Right. Well, and you think about it nowadays, they do similar things, but it's all technical.
yeah,
They got
Right.
the QR code, so you scan
Right.
the QR code
Yeah.
for
Right.
you know a chance to win at something.
Yeah.
I mean, they still do the same marketing.
they do
things,
marketing.
They
Yeah,
just do them
but it's
more with electronics.
yeah. I mean,
Because the babies now, it's like they're almost born with electronics.
They are. I'm telling you,
it's sad.
they know. They're not afraid of it.
well,
No, they're not.
No,
No, they're not.
that's another story.
So anyway,
Yeah.
and the parenting with the children also. But I have a section for family life, so we'll talk about that. Employment. People worked for years for the same company.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you know, when I was in school, middle school,
They
I
don't
took this
do that
business
now.
class, and she said, in your lifetime, you're going to have 3 different careers. That's what she said
Really?
then, and this was in the
A starter job.
This was in the 70s. Careers. 3 different careers.
20 a piece, I guess.
I don't know. She
don't
said
know.
you'll change your, but not necessarily like my husband. He worked for
Forever.
the same company for 40 years.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do it, but there's a lot of people that don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like
But
our,
the thing is, like, I get where she's coming from, because if you go into a big company, you're starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you who knows where you're going to start.
Right.
And then you have the opportunity to get a job in this area or that area or that area.
Yeah.
But-
you get opportunity to learn something new
Yeah.
and do something different.
But the problem is now you can't count on staying with that company.
no, no.
The companies sell
Your
each other.
jobs
They
are
just-
actually not stable anymore.
right.
You think they are, but they're not. I mean,
No.
we look at, our son's been with Geico for 25 years, and the last few years have been very
rocky.
rocky. He's still with them, but it's
Thank
just
goodness.
But
But he has no security.
the security is not there.
No, it's not.
And there's a lot of people that I know of that have, moved on to other companies because of job security.
And also,
Right.
inflation has a lot to do with everything. Because when I went to Hawaii with Missy, we talked to a lot of people, and a lot of them have 3 jobs because of how expensive it is to live there.
Yeah.
Even if they were born there,
Yeah.
Right.
they have
Things have
to
changed.
have 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So same way here, when inflation gets you, you have to have other ways to earn money.
Yeah. Well, to survive, a lot of people
Yeah.
are just surviving.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So-
We're going to take a little break, and we are going to tell you about Buy Us a Coffee.
Buy us a coffee.
You can go to buyusacoffee.com or buymeacoffee.com, and we'll share you the link down below.
Actually, this is Starbucks,
This is Starbucks.
but we're gonna get, how about if we get some mugs with Buy Me a Coffee on it?
Yeah, that'd be cute.
That would be cute.
Anyway, you can give us a buck, whatever you would like to do.
Yeah.
And we would appreciate you. What am I trying to say? I don't know. I'm getting brain fog. We would appreciate your support.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
In other words, we need coffee to make
Yes.
We need coffee.
More coffee. And now that
Please, more coffee. But go over there, buy me
we're older, please buy us a coffee.
Look at that link, click on it. Send us a buck. If we can get a coffee for a buck. But anyway,
I don't know if we can or not.
not a Starbucks.
No, but that's okay. We're using their cups.
Anyway, thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, back. Shopping. Once a week or so, go to town.
That has not changed for me though, as far as grocery shopping. I'm not one of them people ever that went to the grocery store every day. You know what I mean?
No, I don't
And now
either.
Mom,
But you buy everything you need,
For the
or
week.
you did. You'd buy everything you need on your trip to town or
Well,
wherever.
well, that's true.
And then if you forgot something, too bad, you get it the next time around.
Well, that's true. And now it's like we're living in areas that are more populated,
Yeah.
so they have more.
And you have
you know.
online shopping now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There
If
was.
you live in town, it's
It's
awesome.
just- yeah.
Because if you don't feel good or something,
Yeah.
you can
Have
get
it delivered.
somebody deliver you
Yeah.
stuff from the
That's changed a lot.
drugstore and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of having to drag your
Right.
sick butt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also back before our time, I don't know, they used to have people come around with their wares and their whatever.
That's true.
All right. Yes. Yeah. Door-to-door salesman.
Yeah, right, right. You don't do that these days. You don't go
You get
knock.
shot.
Do not knock on somebody's door if you're a stranger.
Or you get your milk delivered,
Yeah.
your eggs delivered.
Yeah, so
that
they
kind of
did
stuff.
have some things.
Yeah, they did.
That were nice.
But I remember talking
Well, those
to.
are like perishables, though,
Yeah.
because milk only goes so far. Your eggs only
Yeah.
go so
Well,
far.
they weren't ultra pasteurized
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that then.
Yeah.
They were
But-
straight from the cow.
Yeah, but I remember, and Mom told me, somebody else went into town, Irving or whatever, did the shopping.
Okay.
He would get the list, and
Does
he
the
did the
shopping.
shopping. Jessie Mae told me that when they went to town, it was usually on a Saturday,
Right.
and they made a
Day out.
day trip.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little,
Right.
it was an event. It wasn't just going
Well,
shopping.
they had a big family.
Yeah, but I mean,
It was a fun outing.
Well, she said at that time when they were first married or whatever, it was a bus trip.
Oh.
Well, they took the bus.
They
Wow.
took the bus and they made a day trip out of
Sure.
it. They got everything done. They got their groceries and stuff.
Right.
It wasn't like going shopping all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Well, when you live in the country,
Yeah.
You have to plan ahead. I worked at CIA. A lot of the ladies lived in the city. They grew
Yeah.
up in the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything handy.
And, you know, in talking with them, they're going, okay, I've got to stop by the store. I'm like, do you go to the store every
I
day?
know.
She goes, oh yeah, to pick up stuff for dinner. I'm like,
Every
really?
day?
And she goes, what?
That's
what
how
do you do?
Melanie likes to do it.
I said, I shop once a week for the week. Because I live out in the country. And she goes, but what? What if you forget something? I said, yeah, go to plan B.
Yes,
And you make
go.
something else.
Yes.
Well, the fact is, you had to commute too, and that was
Yeah.
a trip.
Yeah.
So
Right. And they thought that was so weird.
isn't that funny? But you're right,
People
though. Mom
don't.
used to go to the commissary once a
Once
month.
Once a month.
And she
But
would
she had
get
a freezer.
right, and she froze milk and bread
Everything.
and everything.
Rick used to tease me. He goes, you know, you'll never be able to shop for just 2 people.
Yeah.
You're used to shopping for 8.
It takes.
That's a learned skill.
It is.
You gotta learn how to freeze stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what
So-
we grew up on, so it wasn't odd for us.
No, but my first.
Leroy hates frozen bread. And I'm like, well, why?
What's the difference?
You just take it out and let it thaw. I don't get it.
I don't either.
But he didn't like it.
Yeah.
But his mom froze bread.
Yeah.
When she made batches of bread.
Yeah.
She didn't keep them out on the counter. She put them in the
Yes,
freezer.
exactly.
Yeah,
so
'cause they made
last.
bread every day.
Yeah.
Well, when you make a dozen loaves of bread,
But you've got a dozen kids.
but
so.
you don't use a dozen loaves of
No.
bread.
Well, the first time I noticed the difference was I went to make soup, beef vegetable soup. And the way I make soup, I don't know, maybe somebody else does this. You put in what you're going to make your soup with. Then you walk around your kitchen looking for, oh, I got a can of this.
Put this in there.
And I put that in there. Oh, I want to put this in. Oh, I got that.
Right.
Next thing you know, you need a bigger pot.
I know.
And so I caught myself going, this is not going to work. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Okay, well, I'll freeze it.
Yeah, right.
But I love my homemade beef soup, beef vegetable soup. So I could eat it every day
right.
because it tastes so good.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Customer service.
That is definitely.
Do we have that anymore?
I don't think there is such a thing.
It's terrible.
People give you attitude.
Okay.
Because you're bothering them at their place of work.
Well, okay.
Well, they go in grouchy.
They do. It's terrible. You know, when you go into a restaurant, you're gonna pay good money right now. Okay?
Right. Oh,
In
yeah.
the day,
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't as expensive as it is now.
Yeah.
But Jay and I went to the beach, and we went to Bass Pro Shop had a restaurant beside it, and I guess it was called Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Jay goes, we could go there
Okay.
because it's somewhere different. And I said, okay, we'll go there. And Twin Peaks, you're thinking outdoor,
Right,
and all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
I wasn't thinking anything else. So you go in, it's a bar, but it's also like Hooters. The women were dressed. Yeah.
Scantily.
So we go in and we looked at the menu first, and I said, okay, well, we'll eat here. So the girl, she didn't smile. She didn't say she was glad. And of course,
You
I'm
would
a
think
woman,
she
right?
would want a tip.
I'm a woman. And it all meant there was
Yeah.
nothing but men there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so anyway, she sat us down and she took our order and she didn't smile or anything. And so finally she asked us something and I made a joke. She's, really? I said, no, I'm kidding. And she smiled, so she lightened up. And I don't know what she was thinking, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, she probably got hit on a lot by all those.
No,
you got a
you're
job
not
in-
going to get no tips if he's with his wife.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I watched them all. But they weren't even treating the guys
Oh, okay.
differently. So their attitude, I said, why do you even have a job like this if you know you're going to have to dress like you
Yeah.
are?
Well,
But their attitude stunk. They weren't smiling. And this is in the
Okay.
South, you'd think. Because most places, they were all kind.
Yeah.
And, went to Paula Dean's restaurant and they were all super
Oh, yeah.
kind.
Okay.
Except
Yeah.
for the lady that...
I've been there once.
Yeah, well, that's the last time. But, because,
It's
It's
expensive.
expensive.
No, I know.
But it's an
a fun-
experience.
Yeah.
It's an experience. And
Well, like when we took Mom,
Yeah,
we went
but
for the
it was
experience.
it's
It
an
was
experience.
fun.
It was an experience.
So,
So anyway, Chick-fil-A has it right with their people.
Yeah.
They're very courteous and they're
Pleasant.
They
they're
train them well.
That's the company.
Yeah. The companies need
So-
to. Walmart is the worst for the people.
I was
there.
just going to say, Wally World
But in the day,
has some horrible customer service. You will get some people that are naturally pleasant with everyone.
Right.
But most of the time, it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't go to find out.
Right.
well, my thing is, my little pet peeve, because I worked for a bank for a few years,
Yeah. And they trained you
is
to be pleasant.
I go to the bank, and this one particular bank is like a revolving door. It's kind of settled down now, but you work at a teller station or the drive-through,
Right.
and when you get in front of a teller who doesn't acknowledge you,
Yeah.
all you have to do is say hello.
How are you doing?
And I said something to Kayla one time. I said, that guy that runs the drive-through doesn't smile, doesn't greet you, doesn't do anything.
Nah.
And I said, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
And she went out on a date with one of the tellers there. And I guess she said, she said something to him. He goes, yeah, we're working on that.
We had
Yeah.
somebody at
I
the
mean, you don't
drugstore.
work in front of the public and not say,
I am
hello,
not kidding
how are
you.
you today?
Have you ever
I know.
had a cashier? You go to put your stuff up, and they don't say nothing.
They
Yeah.
just start.
They ring it up,
Yeah.
and then tell you how much you owe, and that's it.
Well, worse than that,
That
though.
is horrible.
Worse than that is when they're on
Their phone.
headset
Oh, no.
talking to somebody else and not acknowledging
Right,
you
I
the whole
know.
time.
Yeah.
I know.
That's worse.
Yeah,
I've had that happen.
yeah.
I want to go, excuse me, I'm here.
Yeah. I think that customer
They're
service.
not. The companies have to train the people,
Yes.
and I think that's lacking in a lot of places.
Yeah. Because when we were growing up, you go into these little country stores, and they were glad to see you.
Yes.
Well, first of all,
They knew everybody.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah. Okay, what about music? Back in the day, it was records.
That's true.
Well,
It
we
radio.
graduated from records.
It was radio.
To cassettes.
8-track.
Oh, 8-tracks.
8-track, then
To
cassettes. Now it's back to records.
Now, 8-tracks weren't around a long time
No, they
before
weren't.
cassettes came.
Right.
And then
Right.
the cassettes were
The
around,
CDs.
and then the CDs came. And now
I
we don't
remember
have
when they
CDs
came
anymore.
out. I remember the guy that invented it or whatever.
Right.
It was on TV. And he showed the disc. And he said, it never stops. And I'm going, how does it
Never
Because I'm thinking record, right? The
Yeah.
record eventually
The
stops.
record runs out.
He said this plays forever until you stop it.
Right.
You can change the whatever, the
Right,
song.
right.
And I was fascinated with that.
Yeah.
Because even a cassette, you have to do something to
You have to
it.
rewind it.
And it ends.
Or you flip it over
Or
and
you
it had
flip
two
it over.
sides.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
And
true.
and so
Records did
that would
too.
rewind it, right, when you flipped it
That's
over.
true. That's true.
But I remember them talking about it on TV, and I
Right.
was going, how does it never end?
Right. And now,
I did not understand.
now you don't even get CDs. It's all digital. It's on
Right.
Yeah.
music
Right. Yeah.
apps or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But they're going back to record players and records, vinyl records.
It's a retro thing.
It is.
You know.
It
and,
is.
And it will be.
It's
They'll
nostalgic
always.
because
and
a
collectible
record
They're-
sounds different.
Yeah.
It has a sound.
Yeah.
And it sounds different. And, what goes around comes around.
comes back around.
But
it's-
not as technology improves.
Right.
like the 8 tracks and the cassettes are gone by the wayside. So if you want
It's only
something
collectible now.
in your hand, it's either back to the records or to the CDs.
Yeah.
But some people like to play the records.
Right,
And they have reproductions of the records
right.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know why it's come back around.
It's just
Do
nostalgia.
you have photographs on your list about taking pictures?
No.
Photography?
No. What
Okay.
about photography?
That's a big thing
Yeah, oh yeah, it's changed a lot.
because now you take a photo on your phone.
Yep.
and
Oh, how you take the photo.
You take a
Yeah.
photo on
Well,
on your
digital
phone.
versus film.
Yeah. There's no film anymore. And it's all digital and it all goes to the cloud
Yeah.
or whatever, wherever it's at. And then nobody ever sees any of it unless it's on social media. But it's like your
Right.
children don't have,
I print some
There's
out
no
and put
hard
'em
copies,
on
you
my
mean.
walls.
there's no hard
Do
copy.
you still do the books?
I do them every
Okay.
year. And I do it purposely
Because of that.
because I know that one day, our grandkids may want to see, what happened in
Right.
our life.
Right.
So I do big events or whatever, family events,
Right.
and
Right.
keep pictures that way in books. So it's like an annual.
More
book.
like events, yeah.
Well, because
It's an annual-
the photographs will ruin. They just deteriorate.
Yeah.
I have albums for my kids for when they were little.
Right.
And Nicole has always loved to look
Right.
at them.
yeah. It is
But
fun.
they're gonna, deteriorate. But it was funny because when she had Maddie had this look on her face. Just this look. I'm like, where did she get that look from?
Then you
Well,
look
Nicole
back.
was over one day and she goes, Mom, look. She got her baby book out, my album out with her baby pictures in it.
There's the
There's
look.
the look. It was her.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She had the
See?
same look as her mom
Yeah, I
when
mean-
she was a baby.
They're just, I feel like families are gonna just disappear because there's just no evidence of them.
Eh,
Because photographs tell stories.
Well, what this lady said, people do not, history is going to be not in writing.
Yeah.
And so if you want to think about history for your family but the postcards are good that people send out, like the events and say the dates and stuff like that. That's a picture with information on it. So that's good. But she said nobody writes letters anymore.
Right.
So, you don't have that letter from grandma, grandpa. You don't have that,
right.
which told the history of those two people.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of like I have that little silver set,
yeah.
baby set, and there was a letter in it because it was Uncle Irving's.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And there was a little letter in it, and it was saying, well, we stopped by, and you were in home, or something or other. And,
Right,
and
in Woodbridge.
And, and
They had a special delivered.
And this,
And the last subject about that is family life. Meals, functions, all together for everything. Now, hardly.
people don't eat together anymore.
Yeah, they don't get together. Most families don't get together. Their meal might be made. You
And they don't
eat,
sit
you eat if
together.
you want to, or you don't. Yeah. Which is,
Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people, they sit in front of the TV, eat their dinner, whatever.
well,
the family.
and the kids go upstairs
Or
or
the kids go
downstairs
downstairs
or
or
whatever
whatever,
with
they
their
don't get
food.
together.
Yeah, here, help yourself.
Right.
See you later, sayonara. I don't know.
I always thought that dinner time was, was when everybody
it's
was
family
home.
time.
And then you could sit and talk and chat and
Yes.
find out what your kids are doing and
Right.
if they talk to you.
What happened
They're
today?
Teenagers typically don't want to talk to you.
No, they don't.
But it is a time to just sit and chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know what they do anymore. I don't know. I know our son, their family, they eat together.
Good, good.
and we eat together still.
Good.
Even though Dorian, he's 7, the kid doesn't, his imagination doesn't stop, so he's still sitting there and he's singing and he's doing and all
Yeah,
this
he's
stuff.
still in, he's still in his
little
head.
thing, and he's not eating. And that just bothers me because here we are eating, and then he'll end up sitting there by himself because he's not done.
He's not done yet. Yeah.
So,
Oh well, I don't know.
but I do believe that, you know, the family time, most families don't just don't have it anymore,
Right.
and it's sad.
Right.
Well, when good weather is, they've got all these extra activities.
Well, that's true. They don't come home until late. And
they may not come home.
They may
If
eat on
they're
the road.
home, they they eat in the car, whatever.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what you gonna do? If you
have to prioritize
if you don't make it a
things.
priority.
Yeah.
When the kids were at home, we ate together.
Right.
And
That's
you
the way
know,
to do it.
it's just all there was to it. Now, when Chris started getting involved in sports,
That became
he
hard.
wasn't always home.
Sure.
Because, you know, they were at a ball game. They're playing a game or whatever.
Right.
So I think they would get food on the road, the team.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't get home till late. So,
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have that, you can't help it.
No, you cannot.
So, but other than that, we always ate together at the table.
But it's good to have family functions and stuff. Like there for a while, I said, okay, I want everybody over, all the grandkids and stuff once a month.
Right.
You mean just to have
Well, there's
everybody-
family dinners.
Except
people
for
don't do that anymore.
holidays.
And then I like to see.
Your grandchildren. Yeah. Well, good luck.
I like to see them. I like to I want to know what's going on in their life.
I know.
How are they doing, or if they're having issues or whatever. But I think there should be fun time too.
Yeah.
Like once a month or whatever. Just, hey, we're all going to the park or something, you know. And just because one person doesn't want to go doesn't mean that the rest of the family, everybody can go when they can.
And especially when you have all your grandkids are grown now.
Yeah, but I still want to see them.
But what I'm saying is, just because their mom and dad can't come doesn't mean they can't come to hang out.
Right.
Because they're old enough now.
Yeah.
They're adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it should be.
It's hard. It's hard to get people. Everybody has schedules. That's another thing. Back in the day, the social events were based around the church.
Right.
Yeah.
You did your work and you went to school.
Well, some people stayed
all day at church on Sundays. And
their life is in the church. Yeah.
So that's changed. That doesn't happen much anymore. Yeah. So I mean, those are
There are a lot of changes, and it's not centered around family.
Right.
It's centered like the kids in schools now are ultra busy.
I know. So they got them busy.
They have to have an activity or a sport.
Right.
They're ultra busy. It's not good, I don't think.
Right.
There's no downtime for the kids.
Yeah.
Some of these kids have no downtime at all.
They get on the bus at 6:30 and they don't get home till 6:30.
And
gone for 12
they
hours.
come home they come home and then the parents take them to whatever sport event they have to be in.
Right.
Or they stay at school until this sport, the game is over.
Right.
And there's no family time.
Yeah. It's a shame. I don't know. I mean, there's going back to, what would you prefer to live back in the day when we were growing up, or have the, things that we have now?
Yeah. Well, when my kids...
I think there's good things about both, and there's bad things.
Yeah, when my kids... Of course, things have changed, but when my kids were in school and wanted to join whatever...
They were allowed to one thing
at a time. but the school put pressure on them because
They
well,
wanted-
we want you to do this too,
Right.
and we want you to do that because they
Right.
were in a smaller school.
Right.
And I said that you can't give 100% if you're doing two different things.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
Right.
no way.
Right. You're gonna be so tired.
Yeah. So when you finish this, then you can do that. Well, we can overlap. No, you can't.
Yeah.
They'll either accept you when this is over, and
Right.
or it's not happening because you can't give 100%.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. Life is tough.
No
and
kidding.
then you died. As we said, we're born to die. Oh!
Hey, yeah.
Boy, that took a turn.
On a lighter note.
Well, it's then versus now.
Now.
So then we were all excited about life,
And now it's like,
now it's like we're gonna die.
get it over with. Oh my God.
It's like if I go into surgery or something, gonna knock me out now.
Really? Before I even walk into the hospital. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, all right, we got a lot of looks, but don't let us discourage you about life because just because we have a negative attitude.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well. All right,
It can be fun sometimes.
That's right. We can be, really. Okay, we want to hear what your then and now, you
Right.
know, items
Then
could be.
versus now.
Yeah, because that would be fun to
Yeah.
hear. So comment below.
Yes, and Kelly has the next subject, so we'll wait and see. Maybe
You are gonna wait
It
and
might. It might
She
be
hasn't come
about.
up with it yet.
It might be about dying.
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Maybe it's funerals.
Oh my gosh. That would be a good one though. It's like how to plan your funeral.
Yeah. How to the positives of planning a funeral and the negatives of planning a funeral. Okay. All right.
Ay,
Stay
ay,
tuned for
ay.
the next episode of Sassy Sisters.
Say so.
Sassy Sisters Say So.